March 11th, 2022. This is from Senator Booker. He's in New Jersey. And he's going on and on here about the grave concern for our nation and our community, so on and so forth. Now, as a U.S. Senator, he continues to advocate for common sense law to reduce gun violence. Our country is in the midst of an ongoing epidemic. Oh, good Lord. Illegally possessed firearms are a grave threat to our nation and our communities. Whoa. Now, let's stop for a second. Stop for a second here. Grave threat. The biggest threat to the United States and to its citizens is for politicians who don't read the Constitution. He's going on and on down here. He says, oh yeah, December 2012 when a gunman killed 20 children, 6 adults at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. It gets on and on and on. This guy's a nitwit. He didn't read the Constitution. What they want to do is they want to go by what the FBI says and what their data shows. All it is statistics. Every one of these Democrats and some of the Republicans will voice the same damn stuff. This, like I said, this came from New Jersey. Now, if these Democrats and Republicans would look back and read the Constitution, you'd find out that all this gun law stuff started back in 1934, I think. And since then, they took guns away from people. Well, I'm sorry, you took the guns away from the wrong kind of people. You don't have no business. You have no authority under the Constitution of the United States anywhere to pass any firearm laws. Well, I got the background check expansion bill and the Violence Against Women's Act and Break the Cycle of Violence Act and all this other stuff. It's these people here that took a gun, that made guns, you know, illegal to carry. Had anybody at them schools or any of these mass shooting places had been carrying a gun, less people would have died. The gunman would have, but not the doggone people you keep passing laws about. So, let's get out of here just a second. This was from New Jersey. Now, this is from my own senator here in Ohio. See what he's got to say. Thank you for getting in touch with me. Mass shootings in Ohio, it's all too common. Same thing. There's a lot we can do to advance gun safety in the United States. I suppose the original assault weapon back in 1994, well, you was an asshole then. I've voted to renew it after the Sandy Hook tragedy and have joined again with co-sponsors of the Assault Weapon Ban Act of 2021. Okay, now we go with the instant background checks and so on and so forth, and all the data and statistics from the FBI. Unfortunately, too long the gun lobby led by the National Rifle Association have prevented common sense legislation on gun violence. Whoa, buckwheat, back up. I told you before, there's no place in the Constitution anywhere that allows you to pass any firearm laws. It's not in the enumerated powers, but there is something in it that says you people aren't allowed to mess with the Constitution. It's called the preamble to the Bill of Rights. It says the convention of the number of the states having at the time of their adopting the Constitution expressed a desire in order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers that further declaratory restrictive clauses should be added. This was in 1789. The Constitution wasn't ratified until 91. And it ratified and preserved for every American citizen the right to keep and bear arms, period. Now, like I said, this is a preamble to the Bill of Rights. And what's it say over here? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That means you politicians are constitutionally barred from infringing. You can't pass any firearm laws. What's it say over here? They didn't want any more misconstruction or abuse of powers. That's why these things were added. You guys are constitutionally barred. Go read the damn Constitution. Don't go running around and say, oh, I got power to do this, I'm authorized to do that. You don't have the power or the authority vested under the Constitution to make these kind of decisions. Period. Well, all right, let's talk about statistics here. Hang in there. Just another second. They like these doggone statistics. Give me a second here. Hang loose, people. I'm getting it up there. Okay. Here's a statistic. When Americans fight for their homeland like the Ukrainians, the recent poll is discouraging. You're going to get a load out of this. You're going to love it. Okay. They did a recent poll, okay? Zoom this in. Okay. Whoop. Okay, recent. Okay, what does it say? It says a bare majority, 55% said that they would stay and fight, while 38% said they would leave. Now, hang on, people, it gets better. Here's the people that would stay. Republicans at 68%, and independents would stay and fight. But the Democrats said 52% of them would leave the country. Now how about that statistic, you doggone crazy idiot Democrats? You pass all these laws to take guns away from people, and as soon as something arises, you're going to hit the road, bud. You're going to take the last train to Clarksville. These are the people who want to disarm you and then run. That's what they want to do. I told you before, there's no place in the Constitution anywhere that allows the U.S. government, the federal government, or any of their branches to pass any firearm laws. It's against the Constitution. They are constitutionally barred. On the Second Amendment, after the word infringed, is there anything that any subparagraphs A, B, C, or D that would stipulate what an acceptable infringement would be? No, sir, there's not. It means all infringements upon your constitutional rights, the right to keep and bear arms, they are barred from doing so. Well, we've had a lot of people in government that had read Constitution. I mean, some of them, like Scalia, but he could only go so far because he didn't want to rock the boat. Thing is, he should have, and we wouldn't be in this position today. And if we hadn't let the doggone Democrats pass those laws back in 1934, we wouldn't be in this today. When you take away someone's right to defend themselves in any manner, you're condemning them to death. You are responsible. Well, they say, oh, well, we can't have felons to have guns. Whoa, buckwheat, back up. If you went to jail for something and you were listed as a felon because you were there, when you get out of there, you're no longer a felon. You get all your rights back. You just don't lose them forever. You cannot legislate a right out of existence. You can't do that. These people have just as much right. If the government turns these people loose, except on parole. If you're on parole, it's different. You're still a felon. Once your sentence is done, or you're in anything that you owed the courts or whatever, you are a free man again. You get your rights back. Not the stuff that they're trying to shove down your throat, people. But like I said, you got these politicians going by statistic and not going by the Constitution. And you get so many of these people that are supposed to be constitutional lawyers, they didn't study the Constitution in school. They only studied what other judges said about the Constitution, making that judge the law and not the Constitution itself. All right, enough for my ranting for today. Thanks for watching. I'll put a link.